Hello everyone and welcome back to our cozy little podcast corner. I'm Jingjing, and today we're diving into something really exciting. Why solo travel forces you to make your own decisions.
Kung excited ka na sa mga trip ko, don't forget to hit like and subscribe sa channel ko. For more fun trip and tips, let's do this.
Why solo travel forces you to make your own decisions. And joining me is my adventurous friend Olga.
Hi everyone! I'm so happy to be here. Honestly, this topic is very close to my heart because solo travel completely changed how I see myself and how I make decisions in everyday life.
Olga, let's start with the question many people are probably thinking. Traveling alone sounds intimidating, especially for people who are used to always being with family or friends. Were you nervous before your first solo trip?
Oh, absolutely. I was full of doubts. I kept thinking, what if I get lost? What if I make the wrong decision? And funny enough, one actually did get lost on my first day. I took the wrong bus in a city I had never been to before. I panicked at first. But then I remembered a line from the book Vagabonding, that travel is the one thing you buy that makes you richer. In that moment, I realized getting lost was part of getting richer in experience.
I love that perspective. So mistakes became part of the learning process.
Exactly. Solo travel is like daily training for independence. Every small decision, choosing transportation, finding food, navigating streets, forces you to rely on yourself. At first it feels uncomfortable, but slowly you begin trusting your instincts. Vagabonding talks about getting to know yourself through the world, and that's exactly what happened to me.
Did you feel both freedom and responsibility at the same time?
Definitely, freedom sounds exciting, but it comes with responsibility. I once booked a hostel that looked perfect online, but when I arrived it was right next to a noisy construction site. I had to quickly decide whether to stay or find another place, manage my budget, and talk to the staff. I was stressed, but when I solved it on my own, I felt incredibly capable.
That sounds like a crash course in decision-making.
It really is. Solo travel constantly puts you in situations where waiting for someone else to decide isn't an option. You become more decisive because you have to, and over time, you realize you're stronger than you thought.
It sounds like uncertainty becomes part of the adventure.
Yes, and that's the beauty of it. Nothing goes perfectly. I remember being in a small town where the last bus back to the city was suddenly canceled. I had no hotel reservation and felt completely stuck. But that situation led me to meet a local family who helped me find a place to stay. That unexpected connection became one of my favorite memories.
That's such a beautiful reminder that your choices open doors you never expected.
Exactly. When you travel alone, every decision shapes your experience. You start asking yourself what truly matters. There was a day when I skipped a crowded tourist attraction and chose to sit quietly in a park writing in my journal. That simple decision felt empowering because it was fully mine.
So solo travel forces you to actively design your own day instead of following someone else's plan.
Yes, and that's incredibly freeing. At home, we often let others influence our choices. On the road, you listen more closely to your inner voice. You don't need a lot of money to travel. You need curiosity and courage. Every decision becomes a small act of bravery.
But making decisions all day sounds exhausting. Did you ever experience decision fatigue?
Oh, absolutely. There were days when I felt overwhelmed by constant choices. But that pressure taught me to simplify. I started asking myself one important question. What do I really want from today? That helped me prioritize experiences instead of trying to do everything. Travel strips life down to essentials, and when distractions disappear, decisions become clearer.
That's interesting. So it's not just about making more decisions, but making better ones.
Exactly. You learn to filter out noise, On the road, you rely less on outside opinions and more on your own judgment. That skill stays with you long after the trip ends.
Let's talk about something many people associate with solo travel: loneliness. Did being alone ever make decision-making harder?
Yes, there were moments of loneliness, especially in the evenings. But loneliness also created space for reflection. When you're alone, you face your thoughts honestly. You start asking deeper questions about what you want from life. Answering those questions requires real decisions about who you are and where you're going.
That sounds like emotional growth as much as practical growth.
It is, and interestingly, traveling alone made me more open to meeting people. I started conversations with strangers and formed friendships I never would have made if I'd stayed inside my comfort zone. Choosing to connect with someone new is another powerful decision.
After all these experiences, did solo travel change how you make decisions back home?
Completely, when I returned home, everyday decisions felt less intimidating. Trying a new hobby or exploring a new opportunity didn't scare me as much. Travel taught me that uncertainty isn't something to avoid, it's something you can navigate.
So solo travel becomes training for life itself.
Exactly. Once you've handled missed buses, language barriers, and unexpected detours, daily life feels more manageable. You trust your ability to adapt. Vagabonding emphasizes that travel is less about where you go and more about who you become. And I truly believe that.
For listeners who feel afraid to try solo travel, what advice would you give?
Start small. Even a short solo day trip can teach independence. Don't aim for perfection, aim for growth. Mistakes will happen, but each one builds confidence. You don't wait until you feel ready. You become ready by taking action. That's a powerful message. Before we wrap up, if you could summarize why solo travel forces you to make your own decisions in one sentence, what would it be?
Solo travel teaches that your choices shape your life. When you take responsibility for your decisions, you discover a strength you didn't know you had.
Beautifully said. Solo travel isn't just about exploring new places. It's about discovering your own strength and trusting your voice. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, Olga.
Thank you for having me. I hope our listeners feel inspired to take that first step, even if it's small. And to everyone listening, remember this: growth begins when you trust yourself enough to make your own decisions. Embrace uncertainty, learn from mistakes, and give yourself permission to explore. We'll see you in our next episode.
If this is informative, entertain, and help you, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thank you. Till next time. Night. Meow meow.